Colette has always been one of my favourite writers ever since I discovered her about 25 years ago. She has the sorts of insights that that very few writers have, and she just writes in a way that's very personal to herself.
I mean, she's just brilliant, Colette. So I feel as though I've gone 8 rounds with her, struggling to... She's so frivolous and so sad, so tragic at the same time.
What she'll choose to say in one sentence, a lesser writer would do a chapter on and you wouldn't really feel you knew it. But she'll talk about one character or one room and she'll just pick the detail that you need to see.
Probably the high-class call girls of the day were called courtesans, and they were independently wealthy and very smart and very shrewd businesswomen. And they were kept, and they in turn kept their own lovers.
These women could only really circulate with one another. They couldn't really go into polite society. And so whether they liked each other or not, they were kind of thrown on each other.
They had tremendous influence, and they were their own societies, so they were, you know, they only mixed amongst each other. But they were like movie stars. People would recognise them in the street.
These women set fashions by the way they dressed and created dances and set the trend in the way society behaved because they were a bit more daring.
This particular film was very, very difficult to cast. We had a very, very short list of which Michelle was on the top. Of course, we'd worked with her before in Dangerous Liaison, which was a help, but unfortunately she liked the script very much, so that sort of got us off right away.
If you have the privilege of working with actors that are as good as Kathy and Michelle, they bring your game up, they raise the bar, and you see that from the first sort of second of the camera rolling and you go, okay, right, the flag is right up there, so let's do it.
He is adorable. I loved working with him because he just didn't make me feel like an old fart. And I really appreciated that.
The garden smells beautiful this evening.
It's the rose acacia.
Come here.
Corsets are just torture. You know, it's like giving birth. You always say never again, but then you forget. And then at lunch you have to decide, if I take my corset off, that's 45 minutes to get back into it. But if I don't take my corset off, I can't eat anything. But then if I eat anything and I put my corset back on, then it's really going to hurt. And this is, this is kind of what you go through every day.
I need to have a word with you about Cherie.
I thought as much.
As you know, I've never stood in your way. On the contrary, I've always been grateful to you.
So I should hope he's cost me enough.
You know me. I'm very content with my lot. I have everything I need. Not that we haven't worked hard for it, both of us. You know what I'm saying. But lately,
Yes?
I've been thinking about what's missing from my life.
Oh, not love, surely. You're always saying how happy you are to be rid of it.
Oh, goodness, yes. No, I mean something altogether different. Grandchildren.
Grandchildren.
I'm arranging a marriage for Cherie.
Has he been told?
Of course he has. Hasn't he said anything to you?
No.
Oh, what a dreadful boy he is.
It was Stephen first
2 weeks ago.
and Misha Pfeiffer
2 weeks,
before we
2
started.
weeks ago.
Now look.
We only
now
halfway. We are only halfway through.
Absolutely.
Imagine how it will be in 5 weeks.
I mean, I'd do anything with Stephen. He's just such a great character too, you know, and he's a lot of fun, and he just walks around the set like this grumpy old man, and you know, he's funny and he's really smart, and it's just always a joy to work with a director who, you know.